Welcome, I'm the DeadwoodJedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and we're back with Razzleberg, Razzie, the man, the rabbit, you know, Darko. Keep coming up with stupid names for him. Anyway, Poppers over here is going to be doing another clan boss team, right? So I'm taking the same kind of speed tune. I'm honestly having a lot of fun using him in clan boss. I think he's a very cool kind of champion. But a lot of you ask, what can he do with crazy, like, ally attack kind of champions like Michinaki? So let's use Michinaki. And then I was like, well, look, we've done kind of a basic team with all epics. We've done the unkillable team. Let's try him now with the tankiest team. This is going to be, the question of this one is, how long can we survive? I've got Uros. I've got Tyrant. I've got Mithrala in here. All of them are going to keep our team alive, giving us increased defense, ally protection, and strengthen for both AoEs, plus ally protection strengthen for the stun itself. This is a pretty tanky team. This is a pretty tanky team. I feel like we got some real good potential as far as surviving with this squad. So I'm really excited to kind of just see how it can do. I honestly have no idea, but I'm very optimistic that this is going to be a pretty good result for us. And I'm hopeful that we just survive a very, very long time and let Michinaki just go to town. And we're going to see, you know, how much damage can Razzie do in this kind of a squad? How much can Michinaki do? Now, we don't have Weaken, but we do have plenty of poisons with Uros and Mithrala. I think that's going to be pretty good. We're going to have Hex up the full time because we do have Mithrala in there with Michinaki, so we should get plenty of ally attacks going on here. The only skills that aren't doing any damage are basically going to be Mithrala for when she cleanses, and for Tyrant when he and Uros. Okay, so there's three. There's three champions all have one skill that doesn't do anything, but most of the time we're going to be attacking, which should be pretty dope. So I'm very excited about this. I think this should be a very fun kind of test here. Also very excited. This is on the website now. You can go on there. You can find this speed tune. And so just go ahead and do that. I'll have a link to the actual speed tune on the website in the pinned comment and description of the video. So you can go down there and check it out if you're trying to figure out, where do I find this? And we should have the rabbit in the calculator. Now, I've tested it pretty extensively here, but I can't say 100% sure that it's gonna, you know, that there aren't any little bugs. He has a very complex passive ability, but from our testing, I'm like 99.9% sure it works just the way it should. Even if someone else has increased speed buff and, you know, he doesn't replace it, it's only going to increase his speed for the appropriate amount. So we had some wizardry in the calculator with the team there, so big shout outs to them. Anyway, let's go ahead. What we're gonna do right now is just kind of jump in, do this run here. Let me show you the setup real quick, and then we'll get to it. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one that comes out. And of course, if you enjoyed today's music, we have that link down below in the pinned comment and description of this video, and you can use code DeadwoodJedi, save yourself 15%. And of course, if you want some account work, you don't like doing the work yourself, I'm more than happy to do it for you. My team is at the beck and call. Just visit my website, DeadwoodJedi.com. So this is the setup, right? We've got Razzleberg starting off with that A2, going into the A3 as we should. We've got Michinaki here, 5,700 defense. He's hopefully going to hit like a big boy, which should be pretty nice. Tyrant, right? 230 speed, got good defense, good HP. I try to get everybody 100% crit rate, just wasn't possible with everybody. There we go. Uros. Uros is at 100% crit rate though, which is quite nice. Good defense, good HP. And then we have Mithrala in there, 167, the slowest of the group. Now, I have everybody built for damage, like Mithrala's built for damage. Everybody's in stalwart gear. Everybody's at least 3,000 defense, but not a lot higher because we do have the increased defense buff. So we're not going to benefit as much from it. You'll also notice everybody's accuracy is pretty darn low outside of Tyrant, and that's because we're going to get that increased accuracy buff from Razzleberg, and that's going to give us that 50% boost. So even somebody like Mitch, who's the lowest? Uros has 167. We're going to get a 50% bump for that. It's another 80 accuracy. It's going to be like 247. It's way over what we need. Well, not way over. That's kind of perfect actually for clan boss as far as accuracy goes. So this is why it's set up the way it is, and it should work just perfect. So that's the plan going into this. We're going to just kind of, I don't know how else to say it. We're going to jump in. We're going to see exactly what we can't do here. Let me just make sure I have everything set up the way I want it. Yeah, one turn delay. Yeah, everything's perfect here. Mithrala. I do have to do a little bit of manualing just in the very, very beginning of this, but that's just more for optimizing the skills. It does work on auto basically, but you know, I want the skills to happen in a certain way, a certain order, to make sure we're as protected as possible. I'm obviously going to have to do a little bit of manualing, just set it up. Okay, Mithrala is all set. I have to manual this next attack from both Michinaki. I just want to A1 here, and then same thing for Mithrala here. I'm gonna want to A1, and now we should be set. It should be full auto. Now, part of this reason why I did Michinaki is he is going to take this first stun. We're not going to have time to cleanse it. That's okay. It's not going to affect anything, but I just wanted to time some of the skills out. I want to make sure we have Hex up for the full fight so we get as many ally attacks in as possible. I want to time that decreased defense and the decreased attack as best as I can, just to protect our team. And same thing with Mithrala. I want to make sure we have strengthen and increased defense for both AoEs, and we're gonna have ally protection anyway. The ally protection, the strengthen for the stun, I figure should actually probably outlast the AoE damage that we'll be taking, especially because Michinaki should be taking the stun. He's got a lot of defense, so he's gonna be very, very tanky. Probably a little bit more HP than I would ideally want on that spot. I think it's like 45k HP, and I'd probably prefer that closer to 40 or even like 38. The less HP, the less damage you take from that stun hit, right? But look at that debuff bar. We've got, it's pretty full, right? We're not landing, I guess we didn't land decreased attack, but that's okay. As we start getting into it, we're gonna make sure that we have Hex up full time. So that'll ensure that we get that decreased attack out there. And yeah, we've got the leech for the healing, which is great. There's that cleanse from Mithrala. Everybody's doing really nice. There you go. Decreased attack, decreased defense, like we should. And we have poisons up as well, which is great. So we've got a pretty full debuff bar. Here comes the hit, and you'll notice we have increased defense and ally protection up on everybody, and strengthen, which is pretty amazing here for this first attack. And it's like a tickle, like a little tickle on the breeze, right? And then for the second one, you know, we're gonna have not only the strengthen, increased defense, and ally protection from Tyrant, but we're also gonna have the shield from Mithrala, which is really cool. So yeah, took me a while to figure this one out. I was like, okay, if we just bring in everybody, what's the best approach here? And yeah, this is pretty good, I think. Now, our damage per turn is probably not going to be crazy high. We're really relying a lot on Michinaki to do damage, Razzie to do damage, and we don't have weaken debuff out there, right? Plus, this is a surviving team, so everybody's built with defense first, right? So Raz only has like 4,000, 4,500 attack, right? Not a huge amount. And so we're not going to get the crazy damage numbers we might otherwise, but it's still pretty cool. I'm very happy with this. I think this is kind of it's a very fun kind of team, and I'm excited to see, you know, what kind of damage numbers we can put out there. So that's the squad. We're doing pretty good. So I'm curious about two things: how long we can survive and how much damage we can put out. I'm hopeful both of those are gonna be very high numbers. So anyway, that's the team, that's the run. So let's go ahead. We're gonna jump towards the end of this run, and we'll see how long we can survive. I'm very curious myself, so we'll skip ahead a bunch, and then we'll watch and we'll see. Wow, 75 turns. That's a pretty long run. Did 127 million damage. That's not too shabby. I'm pretty happy with that result overall. I actually like that a lot. Michinaki, dude, 50 million damage. I mean, that's no small number that Michi was able to put up there. So many attacks, just it adds up over and over with all those ally attacks as well. The run was pretty long. I think it was about 26 minutes, 27 minutes. So it's not a short one, but we were able to one key pretty early in this fight, about 15 minutes in. And actually it was funny, partway through, I actually noticed that the skill timing had gotten off a little bit with Tyrant. I think he got stunned in there somewhere. So I had to do a quite small little adjustment, but it didn't really affect anything else, right? By that point, we still weren't dying. What was interesting though, as we got further along, for like maybe the last 20 turns or so, there were a few times where we got really low. When we dropped decrease attack from Michinaki, didn't land for some reason. We came pretty close to dying a few times in there, but it was a fun little run. Not too shabby, I'd say. A good 27 million from Razzleberg. I mean, that's, Donnie Darko doing some work in here. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but, that dude can put up some numbers. Pretty solid, I would say. So, overall, look, it was a very fun kind of team. Very, very, very cool. I don't know. I love building this kind of a clan boss team. It's just a little bit different and a little bit fun. So, here, let's have some fun with it. Pretty darn good result. Don't know what else to say. Let's look at the champions. All right, I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about these champions, as you can see all the stats and the gear and stuff on the screen. But suffice it to say that I feel like I built them up pretty darn well. We got a lot of good damage, a lot of defense on Michinaki, and he did a really good job of surviving. Now, he's the only one that's not in stalwart gear, but he also is the only one with like crazy levels of defense, and that kind of shows how important that is, how valuable that is as far as survivability goes when it comes to the stun specifically. It also, you could see there were a couple times when he got pretty low on the AoE, so stalwart gear definitely would have helped a considerable amount there just to help deal with that, I would say. And then we got Razzleberg. Razzleberg is obviously in our stalwart gear, and I thought, just did a really, really good job. Obviously, I don't know. He's an awesome champion. I really enjoyed him quite a bit here. Now, it is important to make sure that you're not taking lasting gifts, cycle of magic, any of the turn meter boosting things, arcane celerity, rapid response, as well as you want to make sure you're not taking any counterattack masteries in that defensive tree. This is why I just went offensive tree with him. Or support tree with him, I should say. It doesn't really matter. I also put War Master on him. It's an arguable thing of saying Giant Slayer versus War Master. Just by the math of it, War Master should be better. And if I'm going to utilize him in other things like Hydra, which is something I want to try and build up later today, that's another part where War Master is probably going to be a better thing, being an AoE attack. So I keep that in mind. Then we got Urost here, obviously also in stalwart gear. I was able to actually put HP gloves on him with a huge crit rate bonus, which I absolutely love. So he has insane stats, which is great, and did a really good job actually hitting decently hard champion. And I thought just did a great result for us. One of the reasons why we took the support tree masteries is to help land those poisons so that they are going to be extended and land more often, since it's a kind of it's when he gets hit that happens. And then Mithrala, I obviously messed this build up and put all stalwart gear on her, as opposed to some other set that can maybe do more damage, but it didn't matter. It got us the result we wanted. Actually, trying to make these low speeds with Mithrala was a bit of a challenge, but we were able to do it. Not a huge damage dealer in the raw, obviously, so that's not something I would normally build her for, but obviously in this kind of a weird showcase, why not try it out and see what we can't do? And then very last, we have Tyrant, stalwart gear, a little immortal tree, not too bad. He's super tanky, had good damage. I thought actually surprisingly good damage. Overall, he had 20 million damage overall, I think he ended up doing. So HP burn definitely does a lot of work, but Michinaki was adding to that also. It's more, I think he just can hit pretty hard with good defense like we have on him, good crit rate, pretty solid champion. So that was a team, that was a build. If you guys are wanting to build this yourselves, it is on the website, so make sure to go check out the speed tube down there. And that's what we got, guys. I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I'll have that linked in the pinned comment description of this video, so you can find it nice and easy too. But this was fun. This is definitely going to be a fun champion. I'm excited to try to build out some different teams. I'm sure there's going to be some other possibilities as far as squads and builds that go with this, right? I'm excited to try and build a Demitha squad with him and see what we can't do. I don't imagine there's going to be a lot of challenges to doing. I mean, let me rephrase that. A lot of challenges to using Razzlevarg. Turn meter on the A1, increased speed buff, a lot of like, and not to mention the passive speed, increase. There's a lot of stuff to kind of factor in when trying to build a speed tune. So it's definitely a challenge to be able to do it, but it's also definitely possible. And I'm interested to see what we can't do. The fact that he can bring a lot of damage on his own is really nice. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think Razzy's great for that, right? And that alone. I wish he did bring a little bit more in his kit. Some kind of, helpful debuff would be really, really nice. But as it is, he's still a pretty solid champion that can enable some fun builds for us. So that's kind of the cool part with him. Anyway, that's the team. Hopefully you enjoyed, and all we got, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please take a minute and do that. It is not easy to come up with these kinds of tunes, to build them, to share them with you guys, and that's a great way to show your appreciation is doing that. And hitting that notification bell so you don't miss these kind of crazy speed tunes when they come out, also a great thing to do. So don't forget that. SoundStripe link is down below if you enjoyed the music from today. And until next we meet, the Deadwood Jedi.